Oh my.
Oh geez, he wasn't kidding.
I've never seen this many board games.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 90s 2000s games we all played.
The other amazing thing is the challenge play. Actually, let me tell you more about the trivia cards because you're going to need to know about Roblox first. No, never mind.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most fun and thrilling pastimes that were game night staples during those decades, regardless of when they were first released. What was your favorite childhood pastime? Let us know in the comments. Number 10, Trouble. This board game's been providing a safe way for kids to get into mischief for years, as players try to be the first to move their assigned pieces around the board. That means getting sent back to the starting point by their competitors as rarely as possible.
What are you guys doing?
Getting into trouble! It's fun getting into trouble!
Thanks to its innovative die jumbler, also known as the Pop-O-Matic, Trouble became famous. Who hasn't pressed that button just to hear its fun sound?
Everybody's popping in and out of trouble. Everybody's popping the Pop-O-Matic bubble.
Although it was created decades prior, the game became a major staple in everyone's family game collection around the 90s. It continues to reinvent itself today, with Trolls and Star Wars themed versions hitting stores in recent years.
Anytime you pop the popper and the R2-D2 figure inside stands up straight, that counts the same as rolling a 6.
Number 9, Chutes and Ladders.
Here's a game about climbing up and sliding down.
Inspired by the Indian game known as Moksha Patam, Chutes and Ladders hit US stores in the 40s.
You can land on something good, like rescuing a kitten in a tree,
Ah, you're going up, up, up the ladder!
or land on Break the Cookie Jar.
The Milton Bradley, now Hasbro, version requires players to climb up ladders and head down chutes based on good and bad deeds.
If a player finishes their turn in a square that is the top of a chute, the player will move their piece to the square with the bottom of that chute.
Which direction you go in ultimately depends on the number you get. The simple premise and easy to follow rules have made it a fan favorite for even the youngest of players. It's also commonly known as Snakes and Ladders, a nearly identical counterpart with some different visuals. But whatever you call it, the game by any name continues to be popular all over the world.
Chutes and Ladders really has its ups and downs, but mostly it's lots of fun.
Number 8, Hungry Hungry Hippos. This delicious game was a hit from the start.
It's a wild, wild race. Feed your hippos face. They're hungry, hungry hippos.
The setup assigns a colorful title animal to each gamer and requires them to feed the famished mammals. Players push levers attached to their hippo in a bid to devour as many marbles as possible, and whoever gets the most wins. It first saw the light of day in the late 70s, but thanks to a catchy jingle and memorable characters, Hungry Hungry Hippos blew up well into the 90s and beyond.
We're hungry, hungry hippos. We're in an eating race.
A film was even proposed in the early 2010s, though plans haven't gone forward with the project thus far. If they ever do, we're sure the nostalgia will be off the charts.
How's about dessert? We're hungry, hungry hippos. Hungry, hungry hippos.
Number 7, Mall Madness. Back before social media became ubiquitous, there was nothing more exciting for teens than hitting the mall.
Put on your jelly bracelets and your cool graffiti coat. At the mall, having fun is what it's all about.
Milton Bradley knew that, so they cleverly capitalized off the fun pastime by creating this game. The board is laid out like a mall and features fake money and credit cards.
What's my balance? You start with 200 because that's a reasonable amount of money for a child to go to the mall.
Players win by being the first to purchase everything on their shopping list. Did we mention most versions had a talking component too?
Mall Madness.
Attention mall shoppers. Mall Madness, the talking shop to your drop game. Sales at the Fashion Boutique.
Mall Madness perfectly captures the thrill of shopping without actually breaking the bank, making it a favorite for teens and parents alike. It's not as popular anymore, but it should be.
Cheers. Do we think it holds up?
Cheers.
Do we think Mall Madness holds up?
Yeah, because I'm in severe debt because of this game, so I like that it actually, was prophetic.
Number 6, Girl Talk. A must-have item at every slumber party in the 90s, Girl Talk was all kinds of fun.
Julie had told she'd ever kissed a boy. We were laughing like crazy. And Lisa, she was next to me, she had to eat a pickle sandwich.
Marketed as a truth or dare style activity, the board game was mainly aimed at adolescent girls. Participants use a spinner, which determines if they have to answer a question or complete a challenge. They are rewarded if they follow through, but are forced to wear the dreaded zit sticker if they don't.
Call a guy and tell him something gross. Never. I'll take a zit sticker. What kind of girl talk girl I am?
And the game's popularity didn't end when the century did. That's So Raven, Hannah Montana, and One Direction spin-offs, among others, arrived, turning out a new generation of girl talk girls.
I'm a winner. And a flirt. A gossip. And boy crazy. Can we talk about this?
Number 5, Candyland. This game has one of the most touching origin stories ever.
Take time to play. Get carried away.
'Cause hey.
Jeb.
You ought to got to have fun.
Former school teacher Eleanor Abbott created it while on the mend from polio. There were kids dealing with the disease in the same hospital as her, so naturally they demoed it. Thanks to their feedback, she was persuaded to pitch the idea to Milton Bradley. It debuted in 1949 and history was made.
She loves Candyland.
I loved it too when I was her age. You know, it was my first game.
As the name suggests, the fantastical game requires players to embark on a sugary adventure across Candyland. Its popularity resulted in generations of fans and even prompted a 2005 animated film. It also inspired a baking show hosted by Kristen Chenoweth on the Food Network. Needless to say, its legacy is as sweet as ever.
You know your imagination when you're in the game? You brought this to life.
Everything on the set is edible.
Number 4, Mousetrap. You may not think rodents and fun really go together, but this game would beg to differ. Featuring a more elaborate setup than many of its counterparts, Mousetrap took things up a notch with its 3D board. The concept revolves around participants trying to capture mice, also known as the other players.
Turn the crank and snap the plank and boot the marble right down the chute. Now watch it roll and hit the pole and knock the ball in the rubber duck tub, which fits the man into the pan. The trap is set. Here comes the net.
Initially thought up by Marvin Glass and Associates, the game has achieved global success in the decade since its 1963 release. In the UK, a kid-centric program known as Motormouth even featured a segment based on it.
Oh dear, come on, come on through down to the end here, and there goes Phil Price. Come on, let's get through to the end here.
It's loads of fun and will always remain a childhood favorite. Who knows? Mousetrap might even give the adults an idea of what to do the next time an unwanted cheese-loving visitor shows up in the house.
Figured it out yet? Shut up. I'm thinking.
Number 3, Twister. Unlike most games, Twister requires some athleticism.
It was a brisk fall night, and Maury was on top. No, wait, I was on top.
What?
Hold on, Stoney Morrison was on top.
Not bad.
We were playing Twister. Did I not mention that?
No.
I probably should have.
The rules are simple. Players spin a dial that tells them to put down their hand or foot on a colored circle. The tricky part is maintaining your balance on the giant plastic sheet while the others attempt to do the same. If you've ever played, you know that people can end up in some wild positions.
On the top, Twister ties you up in a knot. That's Twister. Yeah, Twister.
In the mid-60s, an episode of The Tonight Show featured Johnny Carson and Ava Gabor playing the game, and it proceeded to become a hot commodity. But apparently not everyone was a fan. Some thought the game was too provocative due to its physical nature. Fortunately, that did not stop Twister from standing the test of time.
Twister, the hot spot. Twister, the hottest game around. Twister, the hot spot.
Number 2, Guess Who? The catchy jingle for this popular board game played on repeat in the minds of every 90s kid.
Is it me?
Is it you?
Who knows?
Guess who? Can you guess who? It's a mystery.
Guess Who only requires 2 players and some investigative skills. Participants attempt to successfully uncover the character assigned to their opponent by asking a series of yes or no questions.
You wear glasses?
Yep.
Uh-oh. That means it's not you.
Hold on.
Or you.
Bye-bye.
Or you.
Toodaloo.
It sounds relatively simple, but the result was endlessly entertaining gameplay. In the late 90s, it went digital with a computer edition. At one point, Guess Who even got a Disney-themed version. Though the game was called out for its lack of representation in the 2010s, it's seemingly taken steps to be more inclusive. There's also reportedly an unscripted TV series based on the pastime in the works, which is a testament to its enduring popularity.
You win! Let's play again!
The fun is trying to guess when you play Guess Who.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Kerplunk. The fewer marbles end up in your compartment, the better.
So pick a stick, but don't let him fall, cause if it goes kerplunk, you're sunk.
Yahtzee. Nothing compares to the thrill of yelling this dice game's name out.
You can say it, you can play it. Who says gambling is a vice? Take a gamble on Yahtzee. Yahtzee.
Sorry. Insincere apologies abound in this timeless board game.
First you're way ahead, then you get bumped way back. So shake a leg and you'll get home first.
Operation. You don't need a medical degree to play doctor.
Water on the knee! Operation! $1,000 fee! Operation! Pay a rib or two! Operation! I'm the doctor for you!
The game of life. Luck and decision-making combine on the road to retirement.
In the game of life, marry your honey, go someplace sunny, get lucky in the game of life.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Dream Phone. The 90s were full of games that defined millennials' childhoods, but the decade's pièce de résistance has to be Dream Phone. And we have toy designer Mike Gray to thank for that.
I said, let's do something that's kind of like Clue. So it's deduction. We're going to call a bunch of boys because we heard some boy likes us.
Marketed toward young girls, the game requires players to try and guess which of the eligible boys is crushing on them. Participants use an electronic plastic phone to reveal clues, and whoever guesses correctly first wins.
He's not wearing a hat.
It's not Tony and Mike. It's a process of elimination. You could be talking to the boy for you.
Whether you got Steve, Mark, Dan, or any of the other contenders, it was always an insanely fun ride. Milton Bradley really outdid themselves with this one.
It's Dan! Dan, my man!
You're right. I really like you.
Yes!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.